People always say that Germany is the best country in the world to raise children because it is safe, it is structured, and it is organized. But as a Kenyan living here, I have experienced things that completely changed how I see parenting. Because raising kids in Germany is not just about safety, freedom, and independence. And honestly, there are some things that I love and some that still shock me to date. So let me break it down for you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'm really going to tell you how it really looks like. So stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I share my life as a Kenyan living in Germany, parenting, culture shocks, and the lifestyle differences in Germany. Today, we are talking about something that many people always ask me. How is life in Germany? How do you raise kids in Germany? What are the differences that you see in Germany compared to what the lifestyle in Kenya? So here, I will answer it from experiences and not just hearsays. Safety and freedom. What surprised me coming to Germany was how children are treated safe in the society here. As young as 6, 7-year-old children, you will see them walking to school, cycling to school, and nobody is bothered. And at first, as an African parent, I was shocked. I used to question, where are the parents? Where are the adults? Does it really mean that these kids are going to school by themselves? But yes, I was right. Here, you're your neighbor's keeper. You are your neighbor's keeper. So children walk to school alone and nobody will be bothered. So in my country, parents are more protective and they tend to bring their children to school, or they get escorted by adults or a senior sister or brother. So you hardly see children going to school by themselves at age 6 or 7 because of so much insecurity. It's really safe here and I didn't have to worry about anything. Because this in Germany is very normal. Children have playgrounds where they can play without being bothered by anyone. In every neighborhood, there is a playground for the kids to play. So, and it's usually near homes where people live. And also they have walk paths whereby the children walk themselves to school. So you don't have to worry about cars driving into them or being knocked out by cars or bicycles, because people have their own path, the bicycles have their own path. You have to worry about your child getting into any accident or something. And to be honest with you, I won't lie. At first, I was so scared, and it really took time for me to adjust or to understand that it's really being done differently and that I didn't need to worry about anything and that my children would be safe. Number 2 is the education system. Now let's talk about schools. In Germany, children start school from kindergarten, which is Kita, and in Kenya they call it a preschooler, nursery school. Yeah, I think nursery school is the right word. And in Germany, they are just more about the children being independent, the social skills, the emotional development. Unlike in Kenya, whereby it's pressure and it's performance and they check how you're doing in school, here it's way different. The children are just basically taught on how to stand on them by themselves, to memorize on things, and to how they play socially, social development. So it's not exam driven system like in Kenya. I don't know whether in Kenya they've already changed it or it's still the same, but I remember we used to do exams even from nursery school, and yeah, it was too much pressure. But here you don't have to worry about that. School starts much later, you understand? But mostly what they do is that just social skills, games, um, memorization, you know. So it's allowing the children to be themselves and teaching them independence from a younger age. Number three is the parenting style. Now, this is where the true shock or the real shock comes in. In Germany, you rarely see parents shouting at their children. They are so calm and very calm, you understand? So they have different ways of disciplining the child, but they don't do it physically like in Africa, whereby you have to hit a child to discipline them. Here, you're just strict, but you don't hit. Okay, this is a country whereby it allows the children to express themselves, to even disagreeing with parents, and that's very normal. In Africa or in Kenya, my country, you'll be seen as a disrespectful child, mannerless child, but here, remember, it's freedom and independence. So when a child tells you that they don't want to do something, you have to respect their choices, because they say respect the child for a child to respect you. So children have to be treated equally as adults. So yeah, that was truly shocking to me. In Kenya, respect is through obedience, but in Germany, respect is through communication. And through this, the children grow up to be so independent and confident. Okay, so the children, they grow so opinionated, if I don't know if that sounds right. They have the right to tell their own opinions, okay, and explain things from their way of thinking. And I honestly think that is really good, because it makes the child's brain to process things faster and understand much better, and they are not afraid to be heard, you understand? So that to me is really a positive part of the culture that I really love. But to be honest, in the beginning, it really shocked me. As I've said earlier, I was so surprised. Cost of raising kids, number 4. So the cost of raising kids is supported by the government. There is some money that they call Kindergeld that they usually give to parents to support them. However, raising kids in Germany is still expensive despite the help from the government, okay? Because food is not that cheap, clothing is not that cheap, you understand, activities is not that cheap. But the government chips in to add you an additional 250 euro to make sure that the child gets their basic needs. So this part, I really love it the most, because even if you don't have as much, the government will always support you, and therefore you can raise all the children, not to feel like they are below other people. And it's usually difficult to tell which child is living a better life than the other one in Germany, because the system has been made in a way that it's not easy to tell. So yeah, but raising kids is as expensive as raising kids in Africa. Okay, and I feel like if the government is there to support with the 250 euro monthly to support the children, then in Africa it might be more expensive, because you don't get nothing from the government, and so you have to struggle twice as hard to make sure that your basic needs are met, plus extracurricular activities for the kids, which becomes more expensive compared to here, even though it might sound like in both countries are expensive. The only thing that is better with Germany is that at least here you get a 250 euro to help you with the child's need, of which that takes you off some burden. I forgot to mention that childcare is very expensive in Germany. So some kindergarten schools, they pay in some cities, some you don't pay. Who pay, it tends to be so expensive for them, because yeah, it's like the but still the 250 will go to the childcare. If all we get structural support compared to nothing nothing being given in Africa. So it's a little bit better here. The system is up for their people, yeah, more than it is in Africa. So yeah. Number 5 is healthcare system. The healthcare system here is very much reliable compared to Kenya. And the reason I say this is because vaccinations are structured, doctors are easily accessible because of the insurance card. It's not easy to find a doctor, but once you get them, then they're so easily accessible. And then also mental awareness can even start at an early stage. Like, let's say your child is autistic, or they have difficulty concentrating, then there's a system that comes in, chips in to support you as a parent. And so a child that is frustrated emotionally at an early age, or they have lifetime problem with mental health, like I said, ADHD, ADHS, autism, and all that, then the government has created offices that they help with the child development at a very younger age, which makes them to become even better people in the workforce, and they are not judged upon, or they're not looked down upon. So because with their training and support from the government, the parents, then the child gets to get better health. And so yeah, I really love that system, honestly speaking, because sometimes mental awareness has been so underrated, you understand. In most, especially coming from Africa, most parents do not realize that sometimes the child is stressed from maybe trauma, maybe losing a parent from a very younger age, or being raised by guardians who are not treating them right, or maybe just physical trauma from hitting them and always shouting at them, and they don't get help. But here, you can seek help at an earlier age. And yeah, it's really a good thing to support children from a very younger age. And that's really good. I definitely love it. Number 6, the real challenges. Now let's talk the real challenges, because it's not always perfect. Okay, you have language barrier. Language barrier is something that can really frustrate you when you're going to a country and you can't speak their language. So number 1, you always have to do the language, integrate, learn the language, so that it can make it easy for you to assess the system and many other things. You can always communicate. Number 2, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy in this country is not a joke. You always have to, it's a lot of paperwork. And these paperwork, you can't just throw them away. You have to wait a certain number of years before you away these documents. Because, what am I even saying? Of learning this language, of course. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the system, the bureaucracy is too much. It's a lot of paperwork. And usually you have to have these papers because they're always related to the other one. So if you don't have one document, nothing goes on. You understand? Not everything is digitalized like in my country. Most things are digitalized. Here, most of the things, the Germans still believe in post. Okay, it's letters and letters and letters. Unlike in my country, you just you could just go online, file everything that you need, and everything is processed, and that's it. Yeah. You also don't have a village to support you, and most of the times, as an immigrant parent, me being a Kenyan, I do not have my family here, and so it can really get stressful with the kids if you don't have social circle that can assist you. And even if you have, people here are busy chasing money, and you always have to make an appointment for everything. You have to ask somebody for help, and if only they're available, then they will help you. If not, then sorry is sorry. So you don't have a whole village to support you like back at home. You'll have family around you, friends around you, neighbors around you to help you take care of your child. Even though now it's changing a little bit in Kenya because you just can't trust anyone. But yeah, it's not like it used to be in Kenya. Here it's a little bit different. And also sometimes you get hit emotionally that you're alone and you have to raise your kids alone. You can do things for yourself. Your kids are your handbag. You always have to take them everywhere that you go. And you can't just run away from it. So sometimes it emotionally stresses you. So even if the system is structured in a way that it helps us a lot, but sometimes it can feel distant, especially emotionally. And yeah, that's what it is. But I have more positive things to say than to be here and rant and complain. I have a lot of positive things to say, and I think even from the points that I've mentioned, a lot of positive things. The only negative thing is a language barrier and loneliness, and you don't have a village to help you raise your kids. But otherwise, it's good. So, is Germany a good place to raise kids? I think it depends with what you value. If you value safety, freedom, structure, organization, then probably it is. But if you need a village to raise your kids and a community to raise your kids, then probably it's not just the best place for you to raise kids. But for me, it's a mix of both. I would like my family to help me raise children. Why not? But at the same time, I'm already so into the culture and I'm used to it because I haven't been doing it just for 1 year or months. I've been doing it for years, and I can definitely say that both have worked for me. I definitely am a mix of both. I definitely appreciate the system in Germany, and at the same time, I would like to carry on with my Kenyan cultural values. So now I want to know from you, do you think Germany is the best country to raise kids or not? What matters to you the most? Safety, freedom, organization, independence? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And then we'll catch up in the upcoming videos, in the next coming videos. Otherwise, have a great day in whatever part of the world that you are in. Adios.